Come on, please. Yes! 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 Yes!
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is episode number 48 of the 9 Dial Podcast, your one-stop shop for talking tungsten. Whether you go 16 double 16 or 8 for tops or even 12 for double 18, we're here to dissect another big week. And as I was saying to my good friend Josh, who we'll hear from for the first time in a moment, there's a lot going on in this that has happened and that is coming up as well this weekend. But how are we, Josh, on this Wednesday afternoon in Melbourne?
Yes, good afternoon, about 12:30, similar time to last week, which is good. And yes, there is a lot going on as per usual. So we're going to delve right into it. A lot of new tournaments coming up as well, a lot of new series beginning. So we've got obviously a bit closer to home down under the ADA is beginning, which we'll get to a bit later, which is very, very exciting, but so much going on as always.
A lot going on. The Premier League night 2 was in Antwerp. I was looking forward to this night, and I thought it was fine. It probably maybe didn't quite reach the heights I might have been anticipating, or many people might have been anticipating for. We had the occasional whistler in the crowd, which we don't usually get in Belgium. Overall, reasonably good. I thought some of the matches were quite interesting. They got a Brahma at the start with Littler Humphries.
Oh, yeah.
What did you make of the second Premier League night of 2026, Josh?
Yeah, I thought overall it was pretty good. It definitely got the mark. A few really good games, a couple average ones. Obviously, there's one man who we'll get to later who was very, very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. But overall, pretty solid. Pretty solid. There was some really good games, a few comeback victories as well, which was very, very good. Especially a couple of guys who are very, very good. But no, just solid overall with a couple of really good ones. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. There weren't really too many crazy things that happened during the week. One thing that stimulated was Johnny Clayton came from 4-0 down to beat Bunting in the Premier League, and then Bunting came from 6-2 down to beat James Wade 7-6 at the Pro Tour event as well. So both the Ferret and the Bullet were coming from behind to win matches and really showed their best stuff after some disappointing stuff in the first half of both of those matches. I mean, Johnny Clayton doubling at the back end of that match was every chance he got a double he was taking. It was absolutely extraordinary. For a Johnny Clayton that just fell asleep for the first 4 legs and came out of nowhere, which was quite extraordinary. And I think that is the right way to talk about this game, Josh. There is a wrong way to talk about it, and I'll get to that later. But well done, Bunting and Clayton, for putting on good shows there. I think Bunting's just about to turn a corner, Josh. I really do. But it was the other Welshman, Gerwyn Price, who was the winner in Antwerp. He is our best story. Is he going to win a major in the next little while, Josh? I think a great chance. I think there's actually quite a number of names at the UK Open, if they get favourable draws, could really make deep runs. But Gerwyn Price at the moment, he looks good. He looks happy. He's less whingy on social media. He's much more nicer now. There's been a bit of a positive change to Gerwyn Price, and he's going about his darts very, very well at the moment. And we'll flick up the results. So Gerwyn Price in particular, 6-5 winner against Jan van Veen, same scoreline against Johnny Clayton, and then bigger scoreline against Michael van Gerwen. But a strong start to the Premier League for Gerwyn Price, a strong start to his year, really. He's in top-notch form for mine at the moment.
Yeah, spot on, 100% agree. No, he's been very, very good. I think he's one that, has sort of been there and abouts and had a few disappointing moments along the way, but I think he's really, really picked up in that sort of last month, especially. So very, very good. It is very, very solid. 94 average, 100 average, 104 in the last game. Just very, very good. It was hard to touch, I reckon, for sure.
He didn't have as strong as a Pro Tour couple of days. He lost his number one
he did.
Pro Tour Order of Merit ranking position after he lost out of Lipscomb on Players Championship 3 in the first round. But he is for mine just looking. It's so good to see Gerwyn Price playing some good stuff and really showing what he's capable of. And he's right at the top end of town. And I reckon, and I've said this to you a few times during the week, that the positive surprise really is the Premier League table. Who would have thought that this is what we were seeing after the first couple of nights? Van Gerwen, who's been all over the shop form-wise, and I'm still not fully sold on, he's currently on top. He made a final as well, so he was another one that you can put down as having a
Nice
good
points
night.
there.
Clayton
Yeah.
and Van Veen have made decent starts as well. Luke Littler and Luke Humphries both outside. And Stephen Bunting not last. Get in. This is just I know he
Just
lost, but a little improvements, Josh. Just take it 1 week at a time. Just get off the
leg
bottom.
difference.
So
Yeah,
Stephen currently not last on a leg difference of -6, and Josh Rock dead last. You wouldn't have expected it even after a couple of nights. It's certainly not panic stations yet for the two Lukes, but
No.
it was very close. Last week my predictions were very much give me sort of the craziest possibilities here, or the best possibilities for close standings. We didn't really get that, but Luke Humphries was very close and really missed a big opportunity to keep Littler on naught after a couple of weeks.
He did, yeah. I mean, look, again, as we said, it's only the second night. We've got 3 months ahead of us of this Premier League. But yeah, like looking just at the eye, having Humphrey little outside the four is like, whoa, hello. But no, they've still got 2 points. They can easily get in that top four next week. There's no doubt that. Yeah, it's surprising. Obviously, MVG's been more of this a standout. Obviously, had the first nightly win, having not had a single nightly win the year before. Gets one of the very first night, and then obviously made the final. And Clayton and Van Veen have been pretty solid as well. But again, early days. But yeah, I guess that is a very good positive surprise that the table's a bit more open than we thought it would be coming into it, I'd say.
Absolutely, and the big worry with the Premier League format, and I saw Luke Humphries as well was said on the record that he would like to see more players in the Premier League and a change of format, as we've sort of said on and off here. Everybody wants the Premier League format to be something a little bit different. The two people that don't, I think, are Dan Simpson of the Online Darts Live Lounge, who's okay with it, and Matt Porter. And one of those guys' opinions matters a little bit more than the other. But
That's true.
Anyway, the point is that we can see a bit of repetition, but if we're getting and we really need those guys in the bottom four to potentially get some wins this week, because that would really continue to shake up the Premier League and really be a bit uncertain going into weeks of who's in form, who's not in form. But yeah, at the
Exactly
moment.
right.
Michael Van Goen's definitely been the strongest player. After, let's be honest, he wasn't particularly good in his quarterfinal, but his opponent was worse. Which
very
is
much
which
worse,
is very much how
unfortunately.
I describe in the opposite the match he played against Damon Heta at the Masters. Like, Heta was awful, but his opponent was worse.
Yeah. Good point.
But we've he bounced back. He was very strong in that match against Luke Littler, and he's gonna face him again. And we will be fascinating to see whether this standing situation will remain. I've sort of looked over and sort of flip-flopped a few times with my predictions for this upcoming night, by the way, Josh. So I'm not really
Okay.
100% sure what I reckon's going to happen. It's gonna there's a few things I want to say, but I'm not really sure if they're that likely. But
Yes.
at the moment, yeah, this ladder is looking very interesting, and I do think, almost regardless of what we get on Glasgow, again, that we're going to be looking at these standings going, really, because both Lukes could still not be in, or one of the guys, Bunting or Rock, in theory, would just like one nightly win could just jump themselves back into the top four.
Oh, of course.
So hopefully we see a
Absolutely.
bit more rotation of victories over the course of this Premier League. It's the only way this format works is if that happens.
Yeah, 100%. No, it's interesting. We'll keep looking at week by week, of course, but yeah, fascinating. But this was, oh, good grief.
Well, this was
on this?
interesting. It was disappointing. It was funny. It was
Crazy as well. You can
confusing.
label it as crazy. Yeah.
There was a lot going on here, and there is no footage of it because it's not streamed, the Euro Tour qualifiers. So this is the one frustrating thing. Like, yes, there's limitations, and yes, how many people really want to watch a Euro Tour qualifier? But when you don't stream things, it's impossible. We're just going off hearsay and conjecture. Now, of course, to quote Lionel Hutz, those are kinds of evidence, but maybe not the strongest kinds of evidence. So at a Euro Tour qualifier, I think it was the first one.
Yeah.
Michael Smith was playing Mickey Mansell. Now, we know Mickey Mansell is famously very slow. He is the hardest darts player maybe in the world currently to watch. When he made the Grand Slam
Toilet, maybe.
was torture. When he made it that deep in that tournament, the year Luke Littler won it for the first time. And now we know he's slow. So, but from Michael Smith, from what I understand, from Michael Smith's point of view, his issue was not Mansell's pace of actually throwing darts 1, 2, and 3, because we know what Mickey Mansell was like. He was anticipating that. What he didn't like was the fact that Mickey Mansell was apparently walking quite slowly to retrieve his darts. That seems to to be where the meta was at the moment. And Michael Smith, let me get a little bit closer so I can read this. Imagine doing that to win a game. Tinkerbell won't come along and move your darts for you. No need to stand looking at the board for 15 seconds. Horrible mentality and horrible player. So that's throwing the 3 darts and then sort of looking at the board and drudging your way over there. To which Mickey Mouse responded, "Should have been a boxer, knocked him out at 2 tournaments." Quite amusing.
Very amusing.
It's also been said that a lot of these like Euro Tour qualifiers, they don't have they're more like volunteer markers who might not have the fullest understanding of the DRA rules. It does say you need to retrieve your darts in a timely manner, but this is like getting to this is like AFL with pro opportunity. Well, what does that mean? What's reasonable time to dispose of the football? What is timely manner to retrieve your darts? And you can't expect Luke Littler at how old is he now? He's now 19. At 19 years of age, or Mitch Lawrie, who we'll get to later, who's had a great week as well, to retrieve the darts at the same speed of a Peter Wright or Paul Lim. So what exactly is timely manner? What was your whole take on the Smith Mansell thing, Josh?
Oh, it's fascinating. I think just some of the wording of, well, I'll go to Bully Boy first, standing the ball for 15 seconds. Well, I mean, exactly right. How timely is a timely manner to go and retrieve the darts and whatnot? And then to say horrible mentality and a horrible player. And, mate, you did lose to him. That's what I'm saying. So at least.
What does that say about you, Michael?
At least back it up with a victory. Don't come out saying it after a loss. But he has been known to do this before. We know that.
Play slowly.
And then, yes. And then in reply, Mickey's reply was, it's just a lot of cat and mouse type stuff, isn't it? It's really, really interesting. But I'll probably just leave it there. But just fascinating, crazy, disappointing, and all the above, really.
Yeah, I do think that within I think there is a possibility here that we should look at really maybe clarifying some of these rules, because it was the same with Mensah Suljovic at the World Championship with Joe Cullet. Like that was an issue of retrieving darts and getting yourself to the oche. And there are sort of rules in place, but they're very much but they're not even. They don't even say with things like to the discretion of the referee. They just say timely manner. At least again, like there is certainly a sense in the sort of AFL rule book that it's sort of an interpretation thing to each umpire, but darts doesn't even give you that so much. So again, the answers to these things I'm not sure, but I feel like it's a little bit more dodgy, like going towards the board after you've thrown it, then compared to slowing yourself down before you're throwing the darts, because that's when you as a player are expecting to get ready to approach the oche to throw again. So it feels much more dodgy than anything Mensah Suljovic did at the World Championship, which I defended at the time and still do. What he did was perfectly fine. And again, with no cameras and just hearsay and conjecture, we don't really have anything else to go off of. So a little bit disappointing that we had this sort of argument on. It was amusing, some of the responses to it, but I think this speaks more to maybe we needing to clarify some of these rules as what we mean by timely manner and that sort of thing. I think that's the big takeaway, at least for me, from this sort of thing.
100%. No, couldn't have said it better. It's fascinating. It really, really is. But this man, oh man, Rocky, man, he just had an absolute howler. 79 average, and the main thing was his grip. You saw on the vision he was fumbly. His hands maybe a bit sweaty up in Antwerp. I don't know what it was, but he just had an off night, and it's very, very disappointing because I love him, and he's obviously one of my favorite players, probably my favorite at the moment, and just I don't know.
Here's the thing, right? So you don't want to overreact to this because it is night 2, and the main discourse about this was, has the Premier League found out? Is he right there? It's like, it's night 2. He could easily come back and average 105 next week against when he plays Luke Humphries in a couple of days.
He averaged 101 last week.
Yes, he did, exactly. So I was looking at his averages on the floor. In Place Championship 1, it was like sort of down in the 80s and 90s. It was like if he plays that in the Premier League, he's not going to beat Luke Humphries. But then on day 2 of Place Championship 4, they were a little bit stronger, sort of towards, I think there might have been at least one that was over 100 and up in the high 90s as well. So it's all about what you do at the time. But yes, it was a big flop. It was very disappointing because it was as bad as we've seen Rock play for quite a
Mm.
while.
Oh, for sure.
He's been very consistently up, even if he hasn't been winning matches, very consistently up at a high level. And the thing is, like, when Bunting lost all those matches in a row last year,
Mm.
it was frustrating sort of point of view, but Bunting was still playing well on the floor, and then he obviously won those World Series events around it, and then and then when he finally got it together, he then went and won the Euro Tour event on the same weekend. He picked up his first points in the Premier League. So it didn't feel, and he was playing well without winning. Like, he played a match against Luke Humphries where he was absolutely fantastic, but Humphries just couldn't miss it, just kept hitting doubles. So
Justin Hood type-esque.
it was Justin Hood before Justin Hood. You know, I don't think he was perfect like 6'6" or anything like that, but it felt like that watching it. So, but there is very much a difference between that and what Rock produced in Antwerp. You do hope that it is just sort of a one-off thing, but you do worry with the quality of the Premier League that players are coming thick and fast, and that he's got Humphries this week, and then big name players all over the place. All these guys are exceptional players. That's why they're in the
Oh, no
Premier
doubt.
League. But
Mm.
you do worry a little bit that given the fact that he has not got any points after 2 nights, he's got the world number 2, who's just won a Pro Tour, as we'll get to in a moment, Luke Humphries,
Mm.
that there is a risk of it spiraling out of control. I'm not saying it necessarily will be. And I will say, Josh, before the Premier League started, I did say I was a fraction worried that Josh Rock wasn't in as good of a form as he was in the middle of the year, and
That's true.
that this wasn't. I'm a little bit disappointed. I banged it on Van Gogh, but I didn't really bang into Rock as much, and I regret that now, because that might be looking like more of the story. And in retrospect, it might have made more sense that on debut he might have been, I wouldn't say out of his element, but he might not have been up to that same standard.
Yeah, sure. No, of course. Look, the whole spiraling effect, as you said, look, could have happened, sure. But I know I'm a bit biased in this, but I personally don't believe it will. I think he'll click back into form. He'll get a nightly win. Okay, here we go. He'll get a nightly win within the next 5 nights. There
All
we
right,
go.
Josh, you should have held that until we got to I was going to say next segment. I want to do something in
Sorry.
between. I've got a Volcanzo for you this week, and then we'll talk about Rock and Bunting. I nearly merged them together. I sort of got halfway through their names. Rock and Bunting's form. So Stephen Bunting was very good at the at the Premier League. I thought he played really, really well. He got 4-0 up against Johnny Clayton. He did make a bit of a hash of 68. But I thought all the way through he basically was sort of, I'm going to try, I know our cameras don't really work for this sort of thing, we're online, but he basically flatlined his way all the way through. He was at a very consistent and high level. Johnny Clayton, on the other hand, was down here, and then after going down 4-0, he shot until the ascendancy. He was scoring much better, and he was finishing exceptionally. I do not think, Josh, as the way that I assume it's a review show. I've never actually watched it on, I think they do some sort of betting thing, I'm not sure, between Matthew Edgar and Mr. I've watched him play darts, he's absolute wank, so why watch him? Charlie Murphy. I do not think that what we saw from Bunting was a collapse. In any sense, he was up there. There were 2 opportunities to take out Templars finishes. He had a 104. He might have had a couple of 104s actually opportunities. Cross, I think he took at least one. It was a 116 and a 104. This double 18, this tops. If he hit both of them, he would have won the match. So I do not think at all Bunting collapsed at all. And I didn't watch the thing, but I hope they didn't imply that, because he played very well all the way through. He just ran into a Johnny Clayton who just decided to click into gear out of absolutely nowhere. And again, much like the Van Gogh game, Bunting was being left high and dry on makeable finishes, because Clayton again decided out of nowhere, as he sometimes does, that now he'll really click into form. And once he clicks into form, Johnny Clayton, by the way, is always exceptional to watch. And he's half backed it up, or didn't fully back it up, but half backed it up by taking Gerwyn Price to the next to a last leg in the next match. So I thought Bunting played well, and Josh, again, now we move into the great debate here, as well as I sort of transition into this. So it's so funny. You and I, as you're a big Rock fan, I'm a big Bunting fan. You and I basically have the exact same opinions of our favourite guys, because I'm quite confident, and we saw it. We saw it at the Pro Tour when he made a final, and we should do more shouting out guys who just make finals of Pro Tours, because those things are bloody hard to get to the end of with 7 matches in a day. But Bunting, he's now number 1 on the Pro Tour Order of Merit, and that's over the entirety of the last 12 months. So there's no little, oh no, it was good, a year and a half ago. No, this is the last 12 months on the floor. Bunting is better than anybody else. He's winning more money than anybody else. He is doing exceptionally well. He won his board in the Players' Championship 4. He only got beat by Luke Humphries, who went on to win the event. No real shame in losing to Luke Humphries, as we know.
No, of
Being
course
a
not.
quality player. So I do think Bunting is about to turn the corner. Now, does that mean necessarily he'll get wins on the Premier League? Maybe, maybe not. But I think, again, he's another one, I think, that's on the short list of, if he gets a good draw at the UK Open, he could absolutely run deep in a tournament. I am much more concerned about Rocky, Josh, to be honest with you. We need to see it over the next few weeks, but I'm a little bit worried that where the trend line is going here. Whereas with Bunting, I felt like the trend line was keeps losing, but the performances were most of the time pretty good with the occasional shocker. So and the occasional shocker within a match, as we saw against Sebastian Belichick. So I'm much more confident on Bunting being able to find some form again than Josh Rock at the moment. Where do you think Bunting's at the moment with his game, whether in regards to the Premier League or just sort of darts in general? It'll be fascinating. The Euro Tour this weekend will be fascinating about this as well.
No, I think that's a pretty fair analysis. I'll start with Bunting, obviously. I think that's very, very fair. Obviously made that very, very deep run in the Players' Championship event. He's been, look, sometimes score lines can be deceiving, and especially when he was 4-0 up, you just had someone could say, oh, he choked, right? No, it was just one guy who was playing better for that duration of legs that he was just too good in the end.
You can't say a guy choked if he misses one dart at double at the end of
Exactly
10
right.
plus combinations. Like
Exactly right.
No person in history ever goes at like more than like 50% of doubling over a consistent span of time. Yes, Justin Hook can go 11 out of 11 at the start of the World Championship match and then miss 5 match starts and not even end up with the outright best checkout percentage of the whole tournament. But obviously, Nishikuma had 75% of the World Championships as well. So yes, you can do that in one game. You can't do that over a consistent span as well. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah,
Sorry, I need to
of
mention
course. No, that makes total sense. So I do think you're onto something there. I think coming into the Premier League, there was a lot of slander coming to his way. Oh, is he worth? But I think the data and the numbers and when people actually watch the games and seeing where he's going leg by leg, I think that's very, very fair. So I do like what you're talking about there. For my man Rock, I do also agree with what you're saying. He had a very, very good first half of 2025, no doubt.
His World Cup and match play were exceptional.
World Cup match play obviously won with Daryl Gurney. Then the World Cup and match play was very, very good. Had the 9-dart leg there.
Only man in the history of darts to average 180 over the course of a leg.
Ridiculous. And then you are right by saying that sort of maybe 3-4 months his form just sort of dipped off just a little bit, and that sort of carried on throughout. And then he's sort of, I guess it's sort of carried on till now, but I do think he can turn it around. How and what processes does he have in place to do it? I'm sure he's an athlete. I'm sure him and his manager will work that out for sure. But I do think he can turn it around.
Can you repeat the hot take you made about him winning a Premier League night?
I said within the next 6, I think. Next 6 nights. Or, right. Next 6 nights, he'll win one. Next 6 nights.
I think that's nonsense. I don't see that happening.
Oof. All right. Okay. That's fine. When do you think Bunting will win a night in the next X?
I'm not sure. I don't think he needs to win it. I just think he needs to win like individual matches. You can absolutely, by the way, and this is true for anybody, get to and this will put the nail in the coffin of the current format if this ever happens. Because we saw with Simon Whitlock with half of the length of time, you don't actually have to win a night to get to the playoffs. You just need to be winning consistently. So I don't know. Now, obviously, these players are both quality. In theory, they can win. I think Bunting's more likely to win a nightly final in the next 6 weeks than Rock. I need to have a look at the. I know the matchups for this week, but I haven't looked beyond that other than Bunting's matches in particular. So, look, it's not easy because after this, he's got Van Veen this week. Then he's got Humphries. Then he's got Gerwyn Price in Wales, fair income, and then it's Josh Rock after that, then Luke Littler, and then the repeat matchup of the standings. So I'm not sure necessarily if he's going to win one in the next 6 weeks, but I'm more confident on Bunting scoring more points over the next few weeks than Josh Rock. I'll put it that way.
That's fair. That's very fair.
And more matches because sometimes with the weird point system they have where the quarterfinals worth 2 and then the semifinals only worth 1. Maybe that.
Weird.
Anyway.
Weird. Makes sense.
I'm much more confident on
I agree.
Bunting. You're pretty confident that Rock can turn it around. I don't anticipate Rock to average like 80 for the rest of the Premier League. I do think we'll see some good performances, and I do anticipate him to win a few matches or two. But I'm a little bit worried that he will not be making too many deep runs in individual nights. I don't see him winning a night in the next 6 weeks, which means that he probably wins it this week, and I look like an idiot, and you look like you would, if he wins this week. The criticism on you would be, why did you hammer it on? You'll say you win it this week, not even in the next 6 weeks. A broad term, narrow it down.
No, true. Well, hopefully for our sake, both of these men go on to win nightly wins in the next.
How funny would it be if they play in the final at the O2, Josh? That'd be amazing.
Hey, it's not out of reach.
After all of this, after all the criticism, after all the talks on every podcast about their form after night 2, they end up playing in the final. And even better, it's neither of them win a night, but they somehow squeeze into they finish 3rd and 4th, maybe behind the Lukes, and then they beat the Lukes and set up this amazing final. That would be awesome.
It could happen.
Yeah, we're manifesting chaos here, Josh, on the podcast. You heard it here first.
We love manifesting chaos, as you guys know.
As it most likely will not get close to happen. But if that does happen, specifically the way I outlaid it, I'll be reposting this clip every day for the next year after the finals night. Anyway, all right. Look, I'm not even sure if we should classify him as a star of the now already, but Mitch Lawrie, in the Scottish Classic, quite a few WDF events happened over the weekend, including Raymond Smith, which we didn't put in the Canva, we should have mentioned. Anyway, in the open event, the open singles, Mitch Lawrie, let's look at these numbers. 76, 88, 91, 91, 86, 90, 84, and then in the final, most impressively, 95. He's pretty good. Is he genuinely Scotland's second best darts player at the moment behind Anderson? I think that he's probably the second most in form.
Who would be contending with him? I'm trying to think.
The only other guys are like Menzies.
Menzies, yeah.
Peter Wright, they're the main guys on the. Alan Suter maybe is played some half decent stuff on the floor, I think. But in terms of winning matches, I think only Gary Anderson is more in form of winning matches, maybe not even necessarily than Mitch Lawrie at the moment. But he's looking the goods, isn't he? And he picks up yet another title on the WDF side. Yeah,
he just keeps winning week after week. He's unstoppable. Yeah, the numbers are pretty good, but the 95, especially in the final against James Beaton, was incredible. So it's just, I was going to say work in progress. It's not even a work in progress now. It's just the time until he eventually gets that PDC invite, you'd hope. Fingers crossed. In the near future. Won't be too far away, that's for sure.
Yeah, but hopefully whenever it comes, that it comes at a good time for him, and much like as we saw with Bo Greaves, there is also the option of managing time and playing out on the Dev Tour and on Modus and in other places before you get WDF, obviously, before you get to the PDC side of things. But look, it's good for the WDF that he's still very much part of their system. We're talking about their tournaments because he's a big name at the moment, very talented individual, as we know, and a great advertisement for the JDC and the WDF side of things. So we will stay with interest, and something tells me, assuming that he doesn't fluke his way into Ali Pally, when we get to predicting Lakeside later this year, Josh, there's already a sense, what are we, 10 months before it happens, that we'll both be tipping Mitch Lawrie to win the Open, not even like the boys. We'll be tipping him to win the Open. Category.
He literally made the final against Jimmy Van Schie. So
yeah.
Anyway, very, very good. He's just going to keep flourishing. There's no doubt. And this is a sad story. His name's Owen Binks. We talked about him last week. His time as a referee at Portsmouth has officially come to an end last night. His very last game. And there's a beautiful tribute video on the next slide, which we'll delve into just a minute. But he's had such an incredible career at that joint. He's been there from what was called the Online Darts Live League, if you remember, years ago, to now.
Yes, when it started up during COVID.
Exactly. So all those years ago would have been 6 years ago now. Wow. So let's have a look at the video, shall we?
To Owen Binks.
Game on.
Gonna miss this place.
I am, honestly. I think our producer will have the stats but I think it's over 6,000 games that I've refereed since we started at the Live League. Like, it's literally a home for me. Well, it is a home, isn't it? I literally live here now.
Had it hell for leather in the second one.
Well, we know somebody's been paid a tenner this evening.
Come, you require 156.
Wow. Do you know what? It's a very much, obviously people...
What are you doing? What?
Owen Binks is not happy with the darts route here. My word.
41. How are you going to do what? Have a word, man.
It's on double 12. And Marvin van Velzen has produced a perfect leg here at the Super Series. Dutch delight. And now it's time to see whether that man, Justin Smith, can complete a perfect night. Well, what's he done there?
I can't believe this is amazing. Are we live?
Finds that target. Finds the treble 19. Double 12 for a 9-dart finish. Oh, what a shot there from Danny Jansen. 9 perfect darts.
But look at this, George Scapey straight in. Hang on a minute. Wow! Oh my God!
21.
Loves playing the game. Oh, I've never seen that one before. He's thrown the dart at himself. Referee Owen Binks has got, shall we say, lightly toasted fingertips.
To
require 2 or
take us all the way.
South Coast and him being...
I'm not leaving, am I? I'm still here, being part of it as a spotter, if they'll have me.
So there you go. A fantastic video delivered by the Modus social media team. Fantastic. So is that last point there. He will still be around the building as a spotter, as we knew earlier, but unfortunately he's gone on to bigger and better things, as we know, which is such a good story for him. I think he'll be at the Poland Darts Masters this weekend. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure.
That's great.
So that'll be really cool. I'm pretty sure.
PDC, I guess I imagine it'd be his Euro Tour debut. I wonder if they still have Mr. Opera singer 180 caller. I wonder if he probably still he might be around as well for the Euro Tour this weekend in Poland. But well done, Bingsy.
Exactly right.
And we look forward to seeing you on the Premier League stage in about a month, night 6.
Night 6, yes, correct.
We've talked a lot about, sort of danced around a lot, that there have been some Players' Championship events. Chris Dobey picked up the first of the titles, and he beat Stephen Bunting 8-1 in the final. Once Stephen Bunting came from behind to beat James Wade, he was sort of out of tickets throughout, but Chris Dobey picking up a title, and then Luke Humphries winning Players' Championship for this morning as we speak. He had an 8-6 win in the final over Vettel Nyman. So top names getting victories on the floor throughout, because like Gerwyn Price again had some strong performances. Mentioned Bunting, of course, and
made the last 16,
and Vettel Nyman making it to a final as well. So big names, and this one's actually quite amusing, because Luke Humphries basically said that he wasn't going to play Players' Championship events this year, and then he backtracked on it and decided he'd play a few, and then he's ended up winning one. So
and who would have thought?
Booked his place to the Players' Championship finals in Minehead come November. On what is would have been the 17th of February. He's already booked his place in Minehead practically.
There you go. Incredible. Yeah, well, it was good to see Westland Diamond also make the final, having won Players' Championship 2, I think it was. So he continues to be in good form, just to mention him. But yeah, Luke Humphries, another win, which is good. So very good results across the last couple of days.
See if he can take that into the Premier League. But yes, Dobey and Humphries winning on the floor, Bunting and Nyman making finals. Well done. And Gerwyn Price, another one, also in great form along the way. It should be noted that Bunting on his way, he beat Johnny Clayton. The order's probably this wrong, but Johnny Clayton, it might be right. Danny Noppert first, then Johnny Clayton, then James Wade, I think. So all guys in and around the top half of the Order of Merit and Premier League conversations as well. He got victories over them, and it should be noted Stephen Bunting, as I said to you, Josh, I think it was yesterday or the day before, back into position number 6 in the world rankings. He's overtaken Gary Anderson, who was not at the Players Championship events. He skipped them. So even though you'll see the number 7 seed next to Stephen Bunting's name at the Poland Darts Open this weekend, because the cutoff for that was before this Players Championship events, Stephen Bunting is back up to being world number 6. Now, Derek Coulson, he has had an extraordinary weekend because he also made a run at Players Championship 3 a little bit. I think he got to a board final, the last 32 at Players Championship 3, and he was excellent over the week. Not as strong in the final with 85 points, that's 92 average, but a 4-1 win in the final. DC proving that he is among the very best darts players in the world without a tour card right now, Josh.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he was agonizingly close to getting that tour card in Q School, but he's gone to Modus again. That is now his 4th or 5th weekly title, and it'll be his 5th or 6th Champions Week appearance. Yeah, 4th and 5th.
Well, I was going to say, this format with Modus is very tricky, but he just makes it look so easy.
It is. It's tricky. Well, if you're in Group A, which I think he was coming to us, you got 3 days of action, 15 games across Monday to Wednesday, and then if you win, you get that those couple of days off into the Saturday. But if you don't make the top spot, you keep filtering down and play more games and more games. So it can be very taxing on you if you play, 4 or 5 days in a row. But he seems to master this format, make it look too easy. So he won 5th Championship Week appearance. Good grief.
Has he ever won a Champions Week, DC?
No, he has never won one. He made, I think, a semi-final once or a final, but he's never won one. So he'll be back there eager again to try and win that trophy for sure.
We've got 2 months of Modus action, but he's already going to the top of mind for Champions Week predictions already, DC, and he'd be very deserving of it. This is the Week 5 lineup. Josh, Robert Thornton is the first name that really strikes out for me, or stands out for me. The Thorn is back, the former UK Open and World Grand Prix champion, if I'm remembering his PDC career correctly.
Yeah, sounds about right. Justin Smith as well. Sam Spivey, who made a final at Modus and just lost, I'm pretty sure. There's some good names there as well. Mike Warburton, who's been there a few times. Andy Bartons.
Yes, the former, of course, as well, the former Lakeside champion of 23, I think.
Yeah, there's some good names there, for sure. In Week 5, the table is on the next slide. Andy Bartons currently is on top after 2 days of action, a 9-1 record on 18 points. Graham Hall and Divine follows him on 2nd and 3rd place.
So that's where we're at as of the time of recording in Week 5. Group A action will conclude tonight, and we'll bring you the winner of Week 5 in next week's program. Steve Green, Van Velzen, Shadansky, and
you can add Derek to the list.
This hasn't been updated yet, but we can add Derek Coulson's name to Champions Week. Could see already the second weakness of weeks 2, 3, 4. We obviously see where we go, but in Group A, when we come to Champions Week in a couple of months, we're already just getting towards the end of our show today. We're going a little bit on the shorter side for this one. We had a few longer episodes, so that's probably for the better. But you continue to play in the Darts Down Under League, and look, a 50 average is nothing to be too disappointed at. But you only got the 14 darts at double as well, which is a little bit disappointing. I score 81. Did hit a maximum along the way. I'm always disappointed to see you racking up all of those anyway. 23 dart best leg, that's all right. Not too bad. That's reasonable for you, I think, these days, 50 average. But yes, another loss, Josh. What is going on? See, what's like in the Stephen Bunting situation of you just can't get a win.
I'm on a big cold streak. I mean, I was in the game. If you go to the next slide for some more data and numbers there, there was a big leg. I won that leg to go down 4-3, and then the last two I was just shocking. You can see the Bridal average.
Oh yeah, you're the blow. If anyone hadn't worked out, Josh is the blow. Well, you were averaging under 40 for the eighth one. Oh my goodness.
8-9 just went, and I just wasn't good enough. So back to the drawing board again. I mean, and also look, I thought it was 12 weeks, but given that it's an expand field, there is 17 weeks. So I do have time. I do have time to make up for it, but I need to win probably. What's the be 12 weeks left. I probably need to win, I'd say maybe 8 out of 12 to qualify. I'm not sure, because also there'd be more qualification, what's it called? places as well. Given it was 4, there'd probably be maybe 6 or something. So
Yep.
more chances to qualify. But mate, I need to start winning. Good grief. I'm very up and down at the moment, but I've been on a very, very cold streak ever since I put myself favourite. And there's the 180 there, 3 in that treble 20 segment, which is nice. And then I was on a couple more actually, just didn't get there. So not to be, unfortunately, this week.
You've hit like a bunch of 180s now on the darts down under, but you haven't hit a 180 against me, Josh. What is
Really?
going on? Why can't you get it done against far weaker opposition? It must be said. Let's be
Really?
honest.
Ever? Oh, okay. There you go. Didn't know
Never
that.
hit one in any of our matches ever.
Huh.
We
Maybe
hit
they'll
plenty of ton 40s, but no ton 80s.
change this week if we have a game. We'll have a game sometime this
It
week.
might change. It might change in the next. We might have an update in the next few episodes, perhaps. So, what does the next week look like for you, Josh?
Yes, Duncan Taylor this week. So I don't have a table for you because it hasn't been updated, but I think he was roughly around where I am. And yeah, boy, I need a win. I need a win. I can't be dishing out donuts or giving donuts. I need a win and have a strong win. Yeah, have a strong win.
5 matches played. What is your record?
I think I am 5 matches played, 1, 1, and 3.
That's what I thought.
Sure.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
A win, a draw, and 3 losses.
Yeah.
The one win was a 6-0, wasn't it? And one of the
Yes.
losses was also a 6-0 the other way.
Yes.
A 0-6, if you will. So
can't
yes,
afford to go 1, 1, and 4. Can't afford to do it.
That's Josh's form at the moment. We keep an eye on that. It's the big question marks of the week in darts. The form of Josh Rock and Josh Tahini. That's what they're all talking about.
Well, on the upside, my averages have been a lot better. You know, I've been sort of
Yes.
straining in the 45, 50, but now it seems to be the 50 is the base mark. So I am getting better, but I'm not being consistent enough. But you know, I've got some time, to get back up there, but I've got some work to do. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Alrighty, let's look at this week in the Premier League. Night 3,
Yes.
we're going to the over the Hydro Arena, Glasgow. Night 3, Premier League. It's a good venue, that one in Glasgow. It's much better than the one they got in Aberdeen,
nice.
which was it's not as good as the old venue for the which they ended up knocking down after John Henderson drew with Michael Van Gowen.
I remember that.
There we come to Glasgow for night 3, and already, guys, would really like some points. So,
yeah.
Josh, shall we go through for some predictions match by match and even give us some nightly winner as well?
Let's do it. Should we go game by game to begin?
We'll do it in order, starting with Stephen Bunting, who takes on Jan van Veen. It's the world number 3 against the world number 6. And I'm going to continue doing this bit 6-5 for Stephen Bunting to finally get on the board. And I think he's a chance, but if he doesn't win this week, we could be in trouble for the next couple of weeks because he's got Humphries and Price.
I have been liking what I'm seeing. I do think your analysis is pretty spot on, so I will give him the victory. I think it'll be 6-4 the way.
Right, we need all the power. So he was up 2-0. Now this is the other way. It'll either be 6-5 or he was up 2-0 against Michael Van Gowen and lost. He was up 4-0 against Clayton and lost. So is this week going to be a 6-0 for Stephen Bunting? Hopefully that is the progression. That would be very amusing if it was. Second match, Luke Humphries against Josh Rock. 6-2 to Humphries for mine. He could have got a better matchup, Josh Rock, this week off the back of last week's performance. But he's got Luke Humphries, who is arguably the most informed player in darts, given he's won his last 7 matches.
And he literally won the Players' Championship, as you said. Yeah,
Exactly.
I'll give him one more leg. We'll go 6-3 Humphries. Yeah, I just don't think
Michael
he'll be...
Van Gerwen against Luke Littler. Littler was disappointing in his match. Now, do we see? It's been a couple of weeks where he's pointless, and it's been other guys have been picking up titles and winning things. Are we about to see a sort of Luke Littler guy? Other people are winning stuff. This is not right. I need to put this into the correct order of things on Planet Darts. I'm going 6-3 Littler.
Yeah, I've got Littler as well. I think he's been a little disappointing to start, but I think he'll bounce back. We'll go 6-4 Littler for me.
And the all Welsh clash to finish. Johnny
Yes.
Clayton and Gerwyn Price. I think it's now 10 or maybe even 11 wins on the bounce for Gerwyn Price in the matchup of this great World Cup of Darts pairing. Clayton, he
Yes,
had his
great
chance
pairing.
last week. Gerwyn Price playing well on the TV stages. I kind of have to, given I said I think he could win a major in the next little while, I kind of do have to go for him, even though, again, the Manifesting Chaos would have Clayton winning this one. But I think 6-4 to go, and I think this troublesome streak for Johnny keeps on going. Are we going the same? We're all 4 quarterfinals, Josh?
I'm going the other way, but same score
Right.
one, 6-4 Clayton's favour. Yeah.
So give me a nightly final, and I think unfortunately, Josh, as much as I would love to see Stephen Bunting go all the way through, I think I'm going to have to be a little bit boring here. Pick the 2 best darts players in the world, Luke Humphries and Luke Littler, to meet in the final in Glasgow, and I think
I had a
we
feeling
do
you'd say
see a
that.
resurgence from Littler. I think he fights back. 6-3 to Littler in the final over Humphries to pick up his first points in the Premier League and probably jumping into the top 4, I'd imagine, with a nightly win as well. Maybe even just getting to the final might do that on its own, but a nightly win should very much get himself into the top 4. Luke Littler for mine wins. Josh, what do you think?
Scoreline?
6-3.
6-3. All right. I'll manifest some chaos. Top half will go Humphries to be the first finalist, and the bottom half will go Clayton. So my guess is Clayton over Littler in that semi-final. So now we've got Humphries, Clayton in the final. I think just by how well Luke Humphries has been going the last few days in his form the last month or so, I'm going to go him for the win. I think he's due for a nightly win. I don't understand this after night 3, but it just seems a bit
It's
silly.
so weird. Both Lukes have we're at night 3 and we're like, geez, the Lukes haven't played well already, haven't they? We've only seen 2 weeks of darts. They're already due for something.
Crazy. Humphries, Clayton, the final. Humphries 6-3 Clayton. Done and dusted.
I think the fact that we're both picking guys outside the top 4 at the moment to win nights, and certainly in both of our cases, the same guy to make the final, shows the great quality of the Lokes and how we expect them to be at the pointy end of things all the way through. So that's our night 3 predictions. Well, congratulations ahead of time for Gerwyn Price winning back-to-back nights. What we just said. Anyway, the week ahead, the European Tour, the greatest tour in world sports, is back. And we've got, 15 events or something coming ahead to this year. And usually we don't get a Euro Tour event until after the UK Open, but they've squeezed one in before us. Poland, which was so great at the World Series the last few years, it's transitioned itself into a Euro Tour event, the Poland Darts Open in Krakow, coming up this weekend. Obviously, we don't have bracket or anything at the time of recording, but looking forward to seeing this one. Just looking forward to see the Euro Tour back. Guys need wins. As far as we know, all of the big names will be over there and competing. So pretty much all the guys you see on the screen. Was even Mortusky made it through?
Tarski, Littler, Humphries, and Gerwyn Price. Yeah. Dobey there as well.
I think all those guys should be there. Certainly on the certainly the big names, Anderson and Bunting, are all scheduled to be there at the moment. We'll see if there are any dropouts between now and then, which there might still yet be. But fascinating to see how things get going. Some guys need wins. Some guys don't really necessarily need wins, but it would be good benefit for them with things defending later in the year that they get going early.
Money,
so, interesting matches up there. It should be noted as well, Josh, while we're speaking about the European Tour, our man Adam Leake, the Aussie, has not yet won the ranking match. He did pick up his first win in PDC darts at a Euro Tour qualifier for this very Euro Tour, the first one. He won 6-0 against it was Wesley Plazier. And he got the win over. So no ranking money because he didn't win any of his first round matches in the first 4 place championship events. The Euro Tour 3 and 4 qualifiers are coming up tomorrow, or sort of like later this evening into tomorrow. So we'll keep an eye on that and see who gets through. If any other names of note, like a Bo Greaves, can make it to a Euro Tour earlier on in their time as a PDC Tour card holder. Should shout out as well the fact that Cristo Reyes has had some great time. He qualified for both Euro Tour events in that first block, Euro Tours 1 and 2. He's already up and sort of threatening to already jump into the second round automatically at the UK Open as well. So is Bo Greaves, as a matter of fact. Krista Reyes is another one who's just off to a very strong start this year, which is good to see for someone who just sort of disappeared for 5 years and then came back and won a qualified spot for the World Championship and has got through Q School. So he's been excellent so far.
So I'm pretty sure he has the highest average of the new tour card holders. I'm pretty sure I saw
that sounds
a
right.
graphic somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
So very, very good. So he's one to look out for sure.
Fascinating to see how he goes back on a Euro Tour stage. Right, Josh, it's very exciting, and maybe one of us should write something about this in the aftermath of this event as well for the website.
That's a good idea.
ADA back this weekend. We're in Western Australia, I believe. Yes,
Silver Sands Tavern, Mandurah.
Mandurah, just west of Perth. And as you can see, as I said last week, the formats for Friday and Saturday knockout darts of the best of 11, and it is set play on the Sunday for event 4. There is, of course, a consolation bracket as well for those who lose in the first round, but our main attention is all about the main bracket and who gets through and wins events. Raymond Smith won a WTF event in South Australia over the weekend as well. So shout out to Raymond Smith for doing that. Great work by guys, the ADA, to get an extended tour, and fascinating to see how this first weekend pans out. We've got 24 events over 6 weekends, including a trip down to Melbourne at the Melton Darts Club, sort of in the middle of the year, I'm pretty sure.
Later in the year,
Yep, so 128 players. It's fully booked out and fully ready to go. We saw Russ Bray say some good things about the ADA as well during the week on their social media
That's hilarious.
platforms. So looking forward to see how the ADA starts, Josh, and of course up to several places up in grounds for the ANZ Premier League, which did we even mention? Yeah, we mentioned the Grand Slam qualification last week. I think that the winner of the ANZ Premier League will get a spot not only in the World Championship, I'd imagine, but of course at the Grand Slam of darts as well. And you've got to get in there by a qualification route, and the ADA is the best way to do that in Australia. So huge weekend already to get some people's seasons up and going, Josh. Should be a fascinating weekend in WA.
Yeah, well, the more exposure to bigger events, the better. So obviously, as you said, there's more spots. There's the spots of the Premier League, a youth sort of league as well, and Grand Slam.
Yes, so spots of the World Youth Championship available for those eligible for that.
Yeah, so it's just good to see the winners of these get exposure to the world, from Aussie darts, which is obviously growing, which is great. So see how we go in Mandurah this weekend.
Looking forward to that. WA hosted a very good football match over the weekend, and now they've got a great darts match, a darts weekend, I should say, and several darts matches coming up this weekend. So WA giving us some great sport in February at the start of this year. We're winding down now. Last week in the Darts Archive, James Wade got the better of Simon Whitlock.
He did.
And then he went on to lose in the final to Phil Taylor when he hit the twin 9 darters. I'm going to say this on the podcast, Josh, so that you can sort of hold me to it. Within the next week, I'm going to write down on our little rundown every single a dot archive match we've ever done, so we can have a look at that and see if there's double ups or anything. Every now and then we can throw in a double up if we really wanted to, but
sure.
But as for now, I intend to do that the next week, and I'm saying that on the podcast to make sure that everybody knows and that you can hold me back to that.
Keep the receipts
in the week. Yes, exactly.
Excellent.
This week, Josh,
where are we going this
in Glasgow,
week?
as we are for this year's Premier League. We go back to 2019, and Gerwyn Price had a very strong week. So let's see what he was like in 2019. He's playing Belt in, I think this is night 2 of the 2019 Premier League. He's the third match there. This channel is actually quite fascinating because it's got heaps of darts content. Much of it, though, is the Hungarian broadcast, which actually, listening to like other languages of darts is actually quite easy because you can very quickly tell what is the local version of treble 20, treble 19, double 18, double 16. That comes across pretty easily, pretty much no matter what the language is.
That's good.
So this video has most of the English broadcast and then a Hungarian broadcast at the end, which is interesting.
That's funny.
So Gerwyn Price, this is not, as I mentioned earlier, like Gerwyn Price has been much nicer sort of in the last year and a bit, but at this point of time, he's public enemy number 1. He beat Gary Anderson in a controversial Grand Slam final the last year, so he's not very popular in Scotland. Rainbow Barneveld is always been a popular character. I quite like his shirt that he wore in this particular match with the mostly orange back as well. It looked quite nice. It looks pretty one-sided, and you're probably going to get halfway going, why did Lorenzo throw this one into the darts archive? This seems pretty one-way traffic. But is it going to stay that way? I'm going to tell you it's not, because you'll look at the time and go, there's more to this match though. So see how that one patterns out. Barney Price, 2019 Premier League, best of 12 legs. And I also wanted to say, Josh, before we end,
yes,
next week we'll be online again, and then the week after that, which is our 50th episode, not only will we be previewing the UK Open, which is going to be a great event. I've said it before, it's my favourite tournament, with the open draw element being so good.
Oh, and Binks' favourite tournament as well.
Back in person. I had a little look in at the new space we've got. It looks absolutely.
I did.
I've got my extra time sports media shirt on today and wearing for this podcast. We're hoping to get you some more stuff along over the course on this channel, so please do subscribe to the channel, because hopefully there should be plenty more stuff on the way, including of course the 9 Dart podcast. This podcast will be available wherever you get your podcast as an audio only in the morning.
Sometimes right here.
Yes, you've got up there. Very good. Josh, how many 5-star reviews are we on Spotify now?
We are now 11 5-star reviews. Keep going, everybody. Thanks for your support.
So leave us a 5-star rating and a review if you feel so inclined on your podcast provider of choice as well. It helps us get the story out, and liking the YouTube upload as well also does that sort of thing. I also did want to mention that for that 50 episode, Josh, I'm going to, and I'll make sure to edit it and put it together on our social media. I have come up with an alternative Premier League format that I am happy with. I think it does the right job of balancing between not being too repetitive, but also making sure that it's a good watch for the fans in the venue. Because the old format was good for television, that's good for the venue. This current format is good for the venue, not so good for television. So I think I found a happy medium ground that takes some of my favourite elements of the old and new, to be fair, Premier League formats, and brings them together. I'm going to give you to that, not next episode, but in episode 50. Just because I want to do it when we're in the studio, because that way it's going to be easier to put up on social media as well. So stay tuned for that.
Nice.
So that's my 50th episode special. I finally landed on it. It's a 16-week format as well. So the PDC don't need, because we're going to send it to the PDC, of course. And so when Matt sees it, he doesn't need to worry about finding new venues. If he wants to keep a 17-week Premier League format with the 16 weeks and then finals night, he just needs to use my format, and I'm very happy with. There's no fees or anything applied to it. I'm very happy with what I think I've come up with is something that is a happy medium for everybody. So I'll be speaking about that in episode 50. So that's coming up in a couple of weeks.
And I'm assuming the 17th night's at John Cain Arena, Melbourne, right?
Oh yes, of course. I did. That is one little thing that a lot of people won't agree with, but there is going to be a night in Melbourne. Like it just has to be. There's going to be an extra night in Poland, as I've mentioned already. We're probably going to take a couple of places. I might go back to Exeter just to make it easy for the UK Open, but I am afraid there is going to be one plane trip out to Melbourne.
Don't be afraid.
It'll be just the 1 week. There won't be any Pro Tours or Euro Tours. It will just be, that's the only thing that'll happen in darts all week, is that trip to Melbourne. Just to make it much easier. No, I don't actually really talk about
content.
My plan doesn't really mention venues really at all. All right, Josh, let's wrap it up there. Good. Another strong podcast today with some strong opinions.
Of course, as always.
Will be proven immediately right or immediately wrong in the next week. We don't know. But
we shall find out.
Watching quite a lot of darts this weekend, both on the PDC side of things and, of course, on the international affiliate events with the ADA, and also the Dev Tour, I'm pretty sure, is also back this weekend. Any last words, Josh, before we sign off?
No, like, subscribe, audio platforms as you already highlighted, and we'll see the 49 next week, and then 50 in what looks like, oh mate, the studio looks incredible. It's fresh, it's new, it's all there ready when it's available. So we'll see you then.
This has been the 9 Dart Podcast.